So did you pick up why she was trending?
No, why?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Jay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it. It is the Morning Shake with me, your host, Xavier Hendricks. And of course, I am accompanied by my co-host, Mr. J. Paris.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up
to the world.
Yeah.
Is my mic on? I don't know. It's a little bit soft in the heads. If you could just give me a little bit more, thanks, fam. Jay, we got a dope show coming up today. But before we get into it, how was the weekend, G?
The weekend was dope. What was I up to? Just had a birthday party. Not my birthday, close friend. Happy birthday once again. Big blessings. Yeah, bro. Birthday party. And just chilling, bro. I think weekends are just for taking it easy, relaxing. I know the week gets crazy, busy and hectic. So you just want to sit back, relax, and rejuvenate, recoup for the week that lies ahead. But other than that, I'm dope, broski. Your side?
Nah, my side is dope. Also just had a chilled weekend. Wasn't too hectic, wasn't too crazy. You know, when you got the family going, you gotta be home and you gotta be pops, you know. You gotta be a husband, you gotta be a father. So that's me doing my husband duties and my daddy duties. My wife was out on Saturday, so I was alone with the girls. They wanted to do fun stuff every morning. Dad, let's do fun stuff. I don't know what fun stuff is, dude, but I gotta come up with a plan to do fun stuff. And, you know, if any dads out there, you know, you just gotta be creative. And sometimes you come up with weird stuff, but you just gotta make it work, man. You just gotta make it work.
What is the one like bake and so forth on? Are you?
You gotta just roll with it, yeah, bro. You gotta roll with it. You gotta let them crack the eggs, mess all over the place. You just gotta let them do what they wanna do. That's how it works. But before we get into any other further information about what we've been doing on the weekend, sorry, I just had a brain freeze there for a second. I want to introduce our guest today, ladies and gentlemen. Without any further ado, we met, I don't even know, probably 2-3 years ago, and we've since stayed in touch. And then after that, all you see is I see this brother on IG, I see him on TV, I hear him on the radio, I see him all over the place. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our guest today, none other than Mr. Melody Mia. Come on.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Morning, gents. Firstly, thank you so much for having me. You guys have a super cool studio. Like, I'm super excited to be here. Had to wake up, I'm like, it's rock.
Let's do it. So I called him and I'm like, yo, G, I was just schedule looking. He's like, let's do it. Let's get into it. So, broski, thank you so much for joining us today, man. How you feeling? How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. A bit tired, but it's just bad decisions. You know, when you're running around.
Bad decisions.
Yeah, it's bad decisions. I should have rested, but I didn't rest. You know what I'm saying? I didn't rest. I went to see this cousin. Then went to see this one. Went to supported this friend who was playing at this gig. You know, I could have kind of conserved my energy, and I didn't do that right. So I'll take my loss.
And now you're bearing the consequences of your bad decisions. Broski, thank you for joining us today, man. You've been up to so much, bro. Like I said in the intro, I see you on TV. I hear you on the radio. I see you on social media. You all over the place, man. Where did it start? How does it begin? How did you know that you wanted to be like all over the place like that as far as media is concerned? Take us through your journey, man, from the beginning.
So I think it goes back to the year 2005.
Yeah.
2005, I was a 14-year-old boy in Durban at the time. My mom lives in Durban, so I was raised that side, even though I'm born in Joburg. And You know, I woke up one morning, bro. I'm like, I just want more. I'm looking around at everything I have in my life, and there's just this yearning, there's this feeling of I want more. And that led to a decision of me leaving grade 8 and basically running away from my mom to live with my dad in Joburg. Now, you understand that was the best decision I've ever made, well, probably one of the two after, of course, choosing Christ. But that was like probably one of the best decisions I made because it literally changed my whole life. Since that day, moving to Joburg,
what age was that, bro?
I was just 14.
So at that age,
I was 13, turning 14 that year. And it was in April.
But did you have a conversation with your mom? Did you like, Mom, I'm going to dad, whatever?
We didn't, like, it was just there. And I just called my dad. So my parents are separated. So I called my dad. I'm like, dude, I want to come to Joburg. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, dude, let's do this. So that's how I told my mom, yo, I'm out.
I'm going to dad.
I'm going to dad. And of course, there was a lot of problems at home at the time between myself and my mom. I never had a relationship with her, but now we do. And moved to Joburg, bro. Got to Joburg, gotcha. I'm a nobody. I need to start a name for myself. It's a fresh start.
At that age, bro.
At that age.
2005, you started hustling since the beginning.
But just to track back a little, what do you mean by I wanted more, bro? Because I wanted more means like there's already... So was your mom already in the industry?
No. No one's in the industry. There's no one in my family in the same industry. I'm the first. And the thing is, you know when you look at yourself and you're like, I can do this, I can do that. But because of where you are, you're limited. You're very, very limited. So Durban at the time was very big on crime. It was very big on it's either you're getting a girl pregnant or you're chasing someone who got someone's sister pregnant. You know, you're always involved in stuff that never went anywhere.
And that's not you, though.
And that's not me, bro. Like, I mean, I'm at 29. I don't have a kid. I'm not married yet. And all of being focused on is being developed enough to be able to offer something to someone else. So in the time in Durban, nothing was on offer, bro. I had no aspiration. I didn't know an accountant. I didn't know anyone that was really doing well in life and they could understand my intellectual capacity. And I was like, I'm out.
You're out. I need to go where I can be challenged, where people can give me some sort of challenge.
Bro, do you know there's this book called Chase the Lion, right? It's by Mark Batterson.
Chase the Lion.
Chase the Lion.
Okay.
And that's what I've been doing and still doing till today. I'm chasing the lion. The lion is my dream. And the thing is, the lion has the opportunity of killing me. It has the chance because if I don't reach it, it might kill me. It might slow me down forever. And the adrenaline rush for me is what I live by. And that's how today I'm a radio personality, TV personality, an international MC. I've gone to school. I went to varsity, did my junior degree, did my honors. You know, I went on to be a lecturer at the Tshwane University of Technology. Bro, I've done so many things.
Before 30, bro.
Before 30, boy.
But was
fire.
Was that specifically your more that you were looking for? Or
Correct.
at that age, did you have something already to say, you know what? Was it just a good life, a better life that you were... Or was it radio? Was it...
Purpose.
What was going on in your mind?
Purpose. I was chasing purpose.
Speaking about purpose, bro, you still owe me a review.
A review, yes.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
actually reviewing other people's songs last week. I forgot. I owe you that.
Yeah, bro.
I owe you that.
I've been waiting.
I'll take it. In terms of purpose, bro, I've been chasing this thing of being purposeful. You know, truly and honestly living a life where you do not feel out of place. You do not feel like you need to be apologetic about your gifts. And my gifts at the time felt... They weren't correctly placed. People would say to me, and they used to tease me, you talk too much, you prata feel, you know, that kind of vibe. Only to realize that today I speak for a living. Today I get paid.
So you were actually exercising your gift.
But the people around me at the time were bad for me because they were trying to pull me out of my gift. They were trying to pull me out of my purpose. And that's when I realized I need to go to a place or be in a space where people will hear you, bro, and be like, damn.
And appreciate my speaking.
I appreciate your mind, Jay.
Exactly.
I appreciate your lyrical ability. And for you to be able to grow in that, you need to be in a space where it allows you to grow. You need to be in fertile soil.
A conducive environment.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of young people today, this is my opinion, but I think it's a fact, a lot of young people today are in homes that are not grooming them to be something in the world. They're growing them to get paid for a job, but not have an actual career. A lot of parents are wishing their kids could have jobs, but not a career. And that's
calling.
sad. And that means that their purpose then falls away, and all you're doing is ticking boxes, but you're feeling empty, and I call it corporate prostitution. That's why you find there's a lot of young people, there's a lot of people in the world who go and do a job because they're getting paid, but not going to do a job and get paid for it. There's a difference.
There's a big difference.
There's a big difference. I do my job and I get paid because I'm that good. When they call me up, I'm like, yo, Melly, we need an MC for this gig. I'm like, let's go. You've called the right person.
100%. Because you know what you can deliver and you know what you bring to the table.
Bro, they want to pay me for my greatness.
100%.
And there's a lot of people going to work to get paid to go find greatness. That means that you have to wait till money comes in, and only then you chase your greatness.
And never mind that, bro. Money comes in, this gets paid off, that gets paid off, debit orders goes off. Next thing you know, you got like $500 left. You gotta get some food. You gotta get. It's like, yo, what am I doing in this rat race called life? And doesn't make sense. But broski, the one thing that I like about your energy, bro, is that the fact that you're so confident. Don't mistake your confidence for arrogance. It's like you're confident. You know what you put on the table. You know what you bring to the party, and it's like, this is me. This is what I am.
But do you know why? It's because God showed me the difference between confidence and arrogance. Let my light never dim your sight. Let my light give you options in life.
100%.
When I walk into the room, let my spirit encourage you to seek light, to seek direction. You see, people are easily distracted, bro. When someone who is supposedly big walks into the room, people are blinded. Like, you can only see them. But do you know when someone walks into the room and you feel like, man, bro, you make me want to chase life? That's being light. And that's why I always carry myself as light. You know, I want to be the light of my generation.
But I think, bro, people have been conditioned into dimming someone else's light. I tell you why. I'd come into a room as well, and there was a time I had that confidence. A lot of things happened that hit my confidence, and I'm working on getting it back. But there's a time I would have that confidence and be told the same thing, like what you're saying. You talk a lot, and you know you're too flamboyant or you're too out there. Just calm down, relax. And then I would go back, or they'd laugh at me or mock or joke or do whatever. Then I go back and think, like exactly what you said. This is probably not the right environment I should be thriving in, because I should be in an environment where somebody can challenge me. If we speak about something and I'm doing well, you're supposed to be saying, yo, G, how'd you do that? Let's meet up on the weekend. Let's share some ideas.
And that's why I stop hanging around people that do not know what the true art of living life and chasing life is. Hence, I go back to the book, which is called Chase the Lion, where you need to aspire for greater things. You need to be around friends and people that aspire. Man, we need to be able to say, this show is going to hit 1 million views.
Come on, let's do it.
If you can't dream it, you can't live it. And the problem is that if you're around people that do not know the power of dreaming, you're in trouble.
100%.
They will distract you from where you're supposed to go. They're going to hold you back, because every time you're trying to chase your dream, they're going to be like, but bro, do you really
Are you sure? Do you think that's going to work?
And when you fail, you need to also understand that the friends that understand your power of chasing dreams can help you get up again.
And others will celebrate your failure, though. If you fail, they say, you see, I told you it wasn't going to work. In fact, they're sitting there waiting for you to fail so that they can say, I told you so. Bro, there's something you like crazy passionate about. And every time you go on your live IGs, which garner quite a lot of views, every time you go live, every time you do that, there's a topic that always seems to rise to the top, and that's the topic of education, right? Yeah. That's the topic of, are we, and you touched on it a little bit, and I know that once we get in there, you could probably spend the whole hour talking about that. But I feel a similar way that you feel on the topic of education, as far as like, are we doing enough to prepare the next generation for the world? And a lot of people has got that. Some Americans have got that right. Like when I used to watch like the Google office, where they had the slide coming from the top floor, where they had like think box rooms where they had sleeping pods where you can sleep. Now our previous generation, why are you sleeping? You lazy, whatever. But what they understood was that, this guy probably worked throughout the night. He's probably more like, his mind is in a better space at night. So maybe they want to sleep in the morning, sleep later in the morning. And they understood that people have different like ways of execution, and they made room for that. In the 9 to 5, where you have to wake up at a certain time, be at work at a certain time, it has its place, but more so than not, for me, in a creative space, that's not always how it is. We always have that conversation like, yo, G, I edit better like at night. I'd rather say when everyone's sleeping, it's quiet. I have to break out the computer, start editing till like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But that's when I'm more comfortable. You know, I'm playing something's playing on the TV there. I got my headphones on and I'm editing, and I have more fun. During the day, I'm thinking, yo, I'm distracted by so many other things. I don't want to really sit and edit right now. But at night, I switch on. So I guess the question or the statement is that perhaps you can jump on is: are we doing enough to kind of create a conducive environment for people to thrive in that way, especially the next generation?
You know, I think it's a good question, and it's multi-layered to answer you. And the reason why we say it's multi-layered, let's first look at the education system we're offering. We're offering young people opportunities to get jobs, not to create jobs. The education system in the 12-year period, what does a matric certificate qualify you for? What does it really give you access to? What does it grow you? What can I guarantee you that after 12 years of studying, you can definitely be able to do 1, 2, 3? Because here's the thing. We are trying to build local citizens for global spaces. Like the way our education system is working is not building us for the global space. We're not being built to compete. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need. Because right now I can talk to a guy in the States, I can talk to a guy in Amsterdam, but will I compete with him? Oh, now we need to stop and realize that education system in South Africa is purely ranked. Look at how our ranking is in terms of education. And because we're also amongst the richer countries in Africa, we'll always seem like the better ones. But if we truly compete according to our value in economy with other worlds, we're not doing very well. We're not doing well at all. The only time you can see South African education being really propelled is at university level. But if I don't get there, that means that I won't be as smart or as gifted or as have great opportunities.
And that big divide between finishing school and jumping into university, a lot of times people have to do like a gap, not a gap year, what's that? Like a preliminary, a bridging course or something, whatever, because they realize, oh snap, I'm so far behind, I need to catch up. And that happened to me. And I went to a good school, and then when I went over to university, I was like, yo, snap, now I gotta do this bridging, and I gotta just make sure that I cover the gaps here. But then again, there was a lot of elements. So I went to a predominantly white school, right?
Yeah.
And so there's also elements at play there, bro, like subtle elements that kind of make you feel a little bit uncomfortable at certain edges.
You feel behind.
You feel behind, and I don't know if it's a race issue. I don't know if it's because...
not race. No, it's not race. I think to put you at ease there, it's access, guys. We need access to information. You know, on a Saturday, what does a typical black, colored Indian child do? On a typical Saturday morning?
Chill at home, wake up late.
So basically in that gap, that single day, we don't train our kids to participate in things. You find that when you go to a Model C, if someone who's in a Model C environment in an urban area, Saturdays are used for sports days, Saturdays are used for chasing hobbies, learning new skills, but the typical child in SA uses Saturday for chores.
Clean the yard,
clean the yard. But no. If we had access to someone who cleans the yard, if we had access to someone who's gonna cut the grass, wash the windows, you then have an option to go and do other things that will propel your mind. That's why you'd find that the white community, in my opinion, is a bit more advanced than us because of the opportunities they have. The way they choose to use their time versus us, totally different worlds. And in what you said earlier, which goes back to the conversation of the generation of today and the previous generation, we are competing globally, guys. We're no longer competing just between ourselves in Joburg. We're competing with people internationally. And the education system at the moment is not pushing us to that. Our education system is saying, you go to school for 15 years to get paid 5,000 Rand. Listen, there's someone who went to school for 15 years and goes home with 5,000 Rand. We have to do an internship. Internship is for everyone, fine, but you need to have a car. Where the heck must I get a car?
Do you think that's why a lot of people decide to birth an idea or dream and rather go that route and not necessarily?
No, I think it's because we are fearless. Think about it now. We live in a generation where we're not as scared as our parents. Our parents said, if you want to live a good life, go to school, get a job, live like this. Right? This is how. But we are now sitting in a generation where I'm like, hey, bruh, I'm going to be a rapper. Screw everything can go to the, I'm ready to be a rapper. And your mom is like, what? But you'd never have that privilege because there was so much financial, there's so much financial disparity that you can't live. You'll never survive. But today they're seeing the Casper and Vest living and owning houses worth millions. And now they're warming up to the idea. So where that comes back to answer your question in simplest term, we live now in a generation where there's more options and no longer the rigid way. And that's why we have less fear of foregoing for our dreams. Now we're willing to go against. Look at Theo Baloy. Theo Baloy owns the shoe Patu. That boy is 29. We're same age. And he literally has 18 stores in South Africa. 18 stores at 29, and his shoe is a premium brand shoe. He has billboards.
Yeah.
But they gain exposure, right? And so, whose phone making thing? That was fine. I thought it was you. He's like, no, I have etiquette, studio etiquette. That's me, guys. Sorry. He's like, nah, G. I handle big studios. So, bro,
I know my business.
I know my thing. But I was going to jump onto exposure, right? And so the other day we had a conversation. So it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I invited a couple of friends over. We were chilling, just having a braai and whatever. So we're hanging out, and my brother-in-law went to do his pilot's license, right?
Yeah.
So his single aircraft, small aircraft license. Yeah. So he went to go do his pilot's license. So we get into the conversation, and so I said, I want to get into the aviation world, right? And so I start doing a little bit of research. Then I find some people that I know that's in the aviation world. I'm like, I actually know people in the aviation world. That one guy we did the interview with, he's an actual pilot, right? And he flies big planes, not like
commercial.
The commercial ones, right? And then I know another lady that I also know that's in the aviation space as well, and she charters out like private jets and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is a dope space to just get into and understand, right? And so I start understanding the space. I start getting into. So my brother-in-law's at the Brian, so we're talking, and I say to him, bro, so how's the pilot's license thing going? How's everything going? He's like, nah, it's very expensive, this, that, and the other. And then he makes an interesting comment. He says, the one thing though is that exactly what you're saying is that when he got to his pilot license, to his first class that they had to do in pilot's license, he then got to a place where it was the first time ever that he was seeing certain things. And he said there were some other white guys in the class that knew these things because they were doing this as a 7th or 8th subject pilot license at their school was actually offered as a subject, right? Geography and some other thing. He says you don't even need to know science and maths to a higher degree like they make it seem. But some of these subjects were actually offered to them from school level already. So he says that exactly what you're saying is that again the exposure and that knowledge of something while we busy cleaning the garden, washing windows. This guy is busy getting his pilot license at the age of 18.
Exactly. And you think about it, I always say that it's weird that we still don't have financial literacy as a subject in South Africa. In a high school.
Yeah, but I feel the same.
It doesn't make sense that we use money. We're going to use money till we die, but there's no actual teaching of money.
And taxes.
There's no
and all
formal teaching of things like that, because that means that we will always be the consumers and not the creators. Yeah. Hence, I keep saying to you, bro, it's a lack of knowledge. It's the lack of knowledge, as the Bible also says. The
but
Bible
people perish from the lack of knowledge.
And we don't have access to knowledge. And for that reason, we then easily become our own enemies. White people aren't our enemies if you think about it. No, they have more opportunities. So they are a challenge to our own generation to say, yo, what are you doing? I was telling my girlfriend that every month we need to do and take up a new skill. Learn how to edit. Learn how to do voiceovers. Learn how to... Every month, if we can do that for the next 10 years, do you know how much money we can create for ourselves? Simple income. Based on that fact that we are learning. We have a culture that is in South Africa, maybe even in the world, that we don't have teachable spirits, bro. It also becomes hard for me to want to teach you something because we want to be the only one in the room that knows this.
Yeah.
No, bro. We're having this conversation so we can grow.
Exactly.
But not everyone wants to grow. Hey, and then you hear comments like, hey, Melody thinks he knows everything. Hey, this one, beep. And that's where I just shut down. I'm like, hey, not my
Clearly, you
space.
know, did we have that conversation, bro, about people who are unteachable?
Not facts, bro.
Well, I can't remember who I was having that conversation with, and it's like sometimes there's people that walk into a room that knows what they're talking about, and when those people walk into the room that knows what they're talking about, I sit down and I listen because clearly this guy knows what he's saying, or this lady.
That's what school doesn't teach us and should teach us. We go to school to consume knowledge to empower us. Children, go ask a grade 10 if they see school like that. They won't, because we're not teaching it like that. Kids don't understand that school education, formal education, is them being empowered. That's why going to school is such a mission. I just want to finish.
I was going to get done and go home.
I don't want to finish. I want to be here.
I want to learn.
You know, mommy, today I learned how to draw. You know, mommy, I learned this, and that's the spirit we need to be using. But don't forget, people that are also teachers in this day and age are teachers because of poverty. They're not teachers because they have a passion.
Some of them.
Majority, bro. There's so many. You'd be so shocked. Look at how many people are cops because the opportunity is there. But when you look at them like this one, you like a cop, you.
For real, bro. For real.
Bro, how would you ultimately, and you've mentioned a few pointers, but how would you ultimately wanna switch up the curriculum?
So the curriculum needs to not be 12 years. I think we can find ways to upgrade and upskill our people for the globe without making it 12 years. I mean, I think the length of 12 years is for me, it's too much.
It's about a lot.
It's too much, especially considering that if we can find more relatable content. Also, South Africa, you go to school, you're being taught by a book that has been written by a guy in London. But in South Africa, we have authors that can really give us context of where we live. At university, you're still consuming what a guy wrote from Egypt, but you're like, but wait, South African authors are here. What happened to the last 100 years? Couldn't we write a textbook that speaks to this? And that's where you start.
And old books. Some of these schools are still like doing things that I did at school. But I'm like, yo, gee,
my point there is that it's like consuming expired information. It's not like useless, but it's not valuable for the future. It's good right now, but it's not going to be good in the next 10 years because IT is taking over completely. I had a conversation with Prof. Marwala, who is the Vice Chancellor of UJ, and I said to him, we're doing a TEDx talk, and I said to him, all these jobs that you guys are offering, or all these courses, where are we going to use them? Because the world is shifting so quickly. We might not need a teacher in class because now the laptop can tell you exactly what to do. We can learn. A friend of mine learned how to edit a whole video. Today he does stuff for Questa. He does stuff for Bass in America. But he edits his stuff. He learned it from YouTube. Why must I go to school? So what I'm saying is that the mentality that the current leadership has isn't realizing that they're pushing kids away from school. They're not realizing that they're making school so boring when school can be so exciting, man.
It can be a hub. We have a friend, I want to jump on to the next topic, but we have a friend that had that same mindset. It was like, school, sharp. And he ended up leaving and he's doing all right for himself now. Just, again, watching YouTube videos, getting that kind of vibe. But bro, I want to jump over to this one quick. Your radio career, where does it start? Where's it now? Where's it going? What are you trying to achieve out of that?
So interesting enough, it started at UJFM. So I did probably the craziest thing. So I was a student at UJ, of course, at the time, and I was like, hey man, I'm interested in radio. So I went to UJFM. They gave me a shot as a sports anchor. That's how I started. And as time went on, I had a deeper desire to do more. And my first show was called The Community Center, where literally the show was just about, it's actually on YouTube, funny enough. The first guest I had was my dad. And we shot that show simply because the idea was there's no longer communities where people go to the community hall to have a meeting about the crime in the area, about whatever's happening. We don't do that. We live in such an individualistic generation. And I found like it was important for us to talk about the things that kids, youth are going through. And I think I was 20 at the time. So that desire was like, okay, cool. Let's push it, bro. Let's go for it. And I mean, how many nominations later? I found myself doing the breakfast show, Ever Trending, The Drive, Ever Trending, like all those shows that I did
on UJFM.
UJFM, Baba Mia was here. I didn't play. Energy for days. I was just rocking, Baba. Yo.
All over the place.
By the way, and the theme of the year for me this year is to rock. Whatever you do must rock.
I heard you said to me yesterday, let's rock.
Let's rock, Chief.
But now, broski, I just want to track back a little bit because now we're speaking about 20 and UJFM and so forth on. 14, 15, when you got to Joburg, bro, how did the door start opening at that age? Because that was obviously the age where you said, I want more.
I think it was, the door didn't open at all. You know, the door didn't open at all.
Keep knocking.
They didn't open at all, bro. You just literally were like, let me learn. And I stopped hanging out in the township. That's one thing I did well for myself. I had Model C friends. I always was at their house. You do know why? There's more access to life. There's more access to
That's a life hack. It's a life hack.
Hang around people that have access to things. You know, I learned how to go ice skating there. I wasn't going to learn if I was in Katlehong.
You were going to slide there to church shoes there in the road.
Do you understand?
Nah, facts, bro.
And that's how I started, because I hanged around families that were far more richer than us. I was fortunate. I don't go pick. Go there, you look rich. Come here. No. I mean that you started.
It happened, bro.
It happened, and the space has changed. I mean, that means that I also could speak more English. I started playing rugby. Do you know what that meant? That meant that I was
African.
I was like, get your scope here, your scopes. You know what I'm saying? So all of that was a lifestyle change. I moved from being a boy who worked at, like, my mom owns a tavern, so I was always working at home, but I wasn't growing, while other people that I'll compete with are growing in the world. Yeah. So then eventually I started to every Saturday go play rugby, every Sunday go to church. I didn't know where I was going at the time, but I was going to church, and and I was trying to stay busy. And that's one of the things that I wish we need to teach our kids in this generation, is that find ways to keep the mind always busy.
Who opened your mind like this, though, bro?
My dad. My dad's mind is crazy. I mean, as a 63-year-old now, my dad hasn't worked for 33 years. So the last time he got a paycheck was like 30.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And this is all because of apartheid and how they revoked his education. So all he said to me is like, bruh, if I get arrested for taking you to a Model C school, it's fine. Please just use the knowledge. I'm willing to go to prison for you to be educated. I'm willing to go. And
so he pushed you, really?
Bro, he pushed me. Bro, like, literally my dad is someone that really opened my mind. And that's why it's important for us to teach our fellow friends so they can be better parents for their kids. It's not enough to take your kid to a Model C school. You need to be part of their life. You need to participate. You need to talk about things and all those seeds. Because remember, our parents are too busy making money to have real conversations with us.
100%. So they're at work all the time.
And that's
come home late, they're tired.
And that's the problem, bro. I don't want that for my
family. No relationship. So now the kid ends up there on YouTube or with friends, gets bad information, goes a different direction. As a parent, you're wondering what went wrong. But
time.
Time. You weren't there. So then, bro, I want to get your 947 journey. What's that jump? Oh, I don't know. Jay's still. Jay's still on that journey. Okay, right. Jay's taking us in chronological order.
My bad. I'm on the journey. Obviously, 14, 15. You're chilling with the white folk. You got.
You're thinking like, yo, bro, Mark, come here.
Yo, Mark, pass the ball.
Come on, Mark, what's wrong, bro? Are we rocking or what? You know? And at the time, I think I grew up in a space where I was just hungry enough. There were bad decisions then. Started drinking as a lighty. Bad decision came, and they came from curiosity. Curiosity, obviously, at that age is normal. So started drinking, playing around with cigarettes, and then as I grew older, I think the biggest thing was I went through a lot of self-doubt. I wasn't as confident as I am today. I probably found myself in a space where I questioned that, am I good enough? Because I always listened to what people thought, and I didn't own my thoughts. My thoughts are important. But at that age, I didn't do that because I wanted to impress friends. We all have our little characters. I'm that one friend that will always be at my house. I don't know how, we just always end up at my house. And at the time, it just didn't make sense. And then as I grew older, it's like, it's a spirit that God granted me, that people just enjoy my company. But I didn't understand it. And it misled me in the time, because it then made me seem like I'm better than everyone. Or
I'm the man, yeah.
I'm the man. And that wasn't what God was trying to open me up to, but to rather learning how to be a leader that I am today at 29. I'm like, okay, I'm a leader and I trust myself. I can walk into a room, I can rock, like when I MC the Soweto Derby, 80,000 people, my brah.
Hey,
I'm
bro,
there,
that's
I'm there in the center, rocking.
Making sure the whole crowd
Listen, like this, Baba.
Yeah, bro.
How did that come about though, bro?
Wait, bro. You see, now you jumping there. Now you jumping. You say we must go with the order. Now you jumping. I want to get to 947. Then we'll get to SABC. Then we'll get to the MC gigs.
Let me do this. So in my matric year, right? In my matric year, I was 17, turning 18. I just sat there and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know what to study. I didn't know any of those things. All I knew is that I wanted to live. My dad then said, Melody, apply for university. And you applying for university, go study sports. I mean, you're a sportsy person. You're always running around and, just made sense. But the beauty of university, and again, this is why I encourage people to go to school. I encourage people to consume the system and use it as best as they can. It was the decision that my dad helped me make to go to university that opened my life to the next level of. If I had not gone to university and just chosen to go to work, I would not be where I am today. Because university opened me up to opportunities, to access. Access again, big word. It comes back and says, I wouldn't have known that I can actually be a radio host. I never dreamt it. I always would think about it, but I never dreamt it. I always see Steve Harvey do what he does, but I never thought it was possible for me because I don't know anyone in person who's a radio host. I don't know any MCs.
That you can speak to or ask, how do you do this? Yeah.
I don't have access. So for that reason, it was important for me to acknowledge that going to university changed how I saw the rest of my life. Literally.
Sheesh. And then how did your 947 journey start?
So it started from UJFM. I mean, I was doing radio for 6 years at UJ, and I took my time. Remember, I was studying, I was working. I was always busy. I always believe in a busy mind. Always don't be lazy. An idle mind is a dangerous mind. That saying is because once you idle, you start calling up Marys. Now you're like, hey, what you doing? Let's blow 'em. And then, you know what I'm saying? Things now are happening, and then your life is going the other way. So always find things to keep yourself busy, even if it's learning a new skill and running or whatever. So from there, I then sat at UGFM for 6 years and I was like, I've reached the ceiling. There's nothing more I can do here at all. So I need to walk away. And this was a PowerPoint that God granted me access or granted me the trust of the journey is sometimes you need to trust that God can do it again. So I left UGFM without a job offer. And of course I was very, very discouraged because I thought I'm dope. So
Yeah.
And then
now you have to show your worth.
Now you have to prove your worth. You have nothing in China, nothing. And I walked away. And I walked away from the office. Funny enough, I actually left corporate for UJFM. I used to get paid about 44K, 11,000 Rand car allowance. I left that job to go work at UJFM to get paid nothing just because I loved radio. So for me
that's a lot to just leave behind.
My my father disowned me.
That's a lot to leave behind.
Hey, bro.
I left the car. I didn't have a car because I left the job. The car left behind.
But 44 is a lot of money, bro. Even people who work nice jobs now are not hitting 44.
Well, I worked in medical. So it's a lot of money. And take home, remember, I don't have kids. So I don't have any expenses.
So you don't have other things that you need to sort out.
Mix, my bra. 44 in, 44, let's go, ciao. and that was the mindset. But then I was like, I don't want this money. It's not bringing me the joy I want. It's not giving me the happiness. Let them keep them job. I'm going to pursue what I want. If I'm going to die, let me die knowing I tried living my life.
And not just for the money.
And not for the money. And hence I'm saying purpose is important. There's people today who are just living to get paid. And getting paid not in your purpose is painful.
100%.
My man, getting paid in your purpose is beautiful. I can tell you, I speak for a living, bro. And it's just like, okay. You know, I even forgot that money is coming. And that time, like now, I'd say that I've been going through a lot because of course, lockdown, entertainment. We couldn't do much. But God knows, because I'm in my purpose, I don't feel out of season.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm going through the most because my gift still lives with me.
You find a way. It's almost like water and just finds a way to get out.
Find a way to get out.
Yeah.
Somehow God will provide. And that's why I found that when I left UJFM, I didn't have anything to show. I didn't have anything. And God showed up. I think 6 months later, I got a call from 947. Like, yo, bro, I know you've been knocking on this door at 5 FM. Would you be keen to come into the office and let's have a conversation about 947? I'm like, oh, 947. Hello, guys. Welcome to 947. You know what I'm saying?
Now you can use that voice that you learned from Mike.
I'm like, Mike,
yo, Mike, bro.
Life comes in circles, boy. And this is one of the examples. So once the opportunity came, I came in as a crew member. So crew, we do activations. We go do crossovers in different venues. I'll speak to Anele at the time. I'll speak to Fresh. I'll speak to Greg and Lucky at the time. And all these things were, I felt like, but Melody, you're big. Why are you doing these small things? But that's the thing. It's also the journey. You earn your spot.
That's an important point, though. Because, bro, sometimes you come from this level of success. And when you start when you step onto the next step of the ladder,
nobody.
you back to zero. And that, but yes, something can keep you behind. Your arrogance or your attitude or your
lack of teachable spirit.
It will keep you behind because
inability to grow.
Because you come in there like, now where I was there. Now I'm coming, I'm here. And it's like, okay, so now I must do these like menial tasks. And meantime, there I was on the top of the log, you know?
Exactly.
And then you had to start from scratch there.
Had to start from scratch there. Funny enough, I did the night show 5 months into, I've been there for 2 years. So 5 months into it, and then they're like, okay, cool, Melody. We're ready to give you a show over the weekends, you know, night show. We call it a trainer show. And I started doing my thing. It was hard, bro.
The graveyard shift.
The graveyard shift was hard. I've never done graveyard. That's the problem.
You were always on the
My man, I got there, hot cakes and everything. Pah! You know?
You were always the headline act.
I was like a cook on a Monday morning, my brother. Everyone wants me.
On a Sunday morning,
Sunday morning, everyone wants me. And all of a sudden, no one wants me.
You're in the graveyard shift now.
Now you're there, bruh. Hey, guys, it's at night. People are sleeping, making noise.
You gotta have this energy.
You know? And now I have all this energy. I can't use it at night.
Yeah. People are sleeping.
People are drunk coming back from the party there.
But then how did you make the most of it, bro? You just rock it.
Just rock, bro. I think it's because it's a purpose. I stopped doing the night show. I'm no longer doing graveyard.
Okay.
So there was no longer point.
Are you still at 947 now?
Yes, I'm still at 947. So there's no longer a purpose for me to do it because I did it for a year and so, and I've been doing fill-in shows and whatnot. So because now of what happened at 947, of course, with the whole shifts and everything, I didn't get an opportunity to go up. You know, because they had to fill things and there was just a lot going on. And I'm fine with it, man. I really am fine with it, but I want to grow. So for that reason, if an opportunity comes my way, I'll take it. And that's reality, but I'm still there. I'm actually doing a show this week, 5 to 6, just before breakfast, this Thursday and Friday. But all of those opportunities, the same way you would celebrate your big wins, you celebrate the small
wins. And then SABC, what's your journey there?
Yo, brah. You know, if you told me that I'll be on TV one day, I wouldn't believe you as a kid. I didn't think I was handsome enough. I didn't think I spoke well. I didn't think I had what it took. But it was the grace of God that I constantly found myself in the position of rocking. Every time, bro, literally for me to become the guy I am today, I learned at my grandmother's funeral. And she passed away in 2006, 2007. I literally was told to read, you know, like at the funeral, it's like read a message on behalf of the grandchildren. I read and everyone was like, dude, you read so well. Only to find that now SABC in 2016, and I'd been knocking, I've never had an agent. Everything I've done has been God's grace. God has been my agent. That's what I always say. I've never had an agent, bro, like never. I've never had someone manage me. I even started working with my friend Sianda. He manages me. Like I got my bra that believes in me as much as I believe in him. We're like, bra, let's go get this money together. We're on. And that's been our journey. So SABC came up in 2016. I used to do a show called Bonaretang. And Bonaretang was a show for the youth. So it was like YoTV. It played just after YoTV. And we talked about topics like this. Not knowing that God was preparing me for daily theater. We did a year of that. Show dipped. Money problems at SABC. 3-4 years later.
We know all about those.
God kept me in the same spirit. That's why I started getting involved in new talks, being a motivational speaker, doing all these things, not knowing that God is preparing me to go to daily theater. Everyone auditioned. I literally came like everyone. I auditioned on a Sunday. I think it was a Thursday. I started the show on a Sunday. Sunday we started shooting pre-records, we go. I have no live TV experience. All of it has just been God's grace to saying, there are things that you might be going through right now, but God is training you for what you need to hold that's bigger. If you can't respect and love the opportunity to learn now, you'll never know how to embrace the big things that are coming.
Sure, bruh. You know that's the crazy thing about that, the statement you just made. I was in that stage. I'm kind of, I feel like I'm getting to the end of that stage where that restarting season, that re-embracing, getting back to why I do what I do. What's the actual purpose behind why? Because I think you can get lost sometimes when things start really flourishing and you're out there and, you know, all over the place. You get pulled in different directions. You can lose track of, actually, why did I start doing this? You back to that original love again.
I'm going to throw you under the bus. I'm like, you drive a Porsche, né?
Yeah.
And you driving a Porsche to someone else, they're like, hey, this one does drugs, this one. No, mentality. It's not possible. It's not doable, you know? And for you, there's a day that will come where you'll stop and look at your car and remember why. I always say that when I went to do my night show at 947, I'd come out, open my Beamer, and I'm like, yeah, this is why I'm here. This is why I do this stuff, because the life that I want is there, but I need to work for it.
Exactly. But you see the challenge, and it becomes a mind shift that you actually have to do. And that mind shift doesn't just happen where you shift your mind and then your mind is now staying there. It's like you shift it and then you have to keep it there. You're like, don't fall back into the old way of thinking.
Buying the Porsche probably was the easiest thing you could have done. It's keeping it.
It's keeping it. And remember why, and remembering why I did it. And part of the reason why I did it was because I'm appealing to the young people. They see me on this platform. They know like, Zakes, this and that and that. So, and part of the reason I did it, and I want to up the game even further, is when I drive through. So this happened real life, right? So I went to Eldo's, right, for Nathaniel Julie's funeral.
Yes, yeah.
So I went there, and I was with my other friend also, which also frequents our show, Don. He has a white Porsche, but the newer one. So we went there with a riding convoy. We parked there, and the kids came, bro. I have pictures of it. The kids came. They were like, yo, taking pictures. Yo, uncle. And I'm like, yeah, come, gents, come. Yeah, uncle, can I sit? Yeah, open the door, sit. And what I wanted to do, and so this one lady, she's like, yo, this funeral is bringing celebrities and what. I'm like, no. Because we used to live in Klipspruit as well, right? And I told that lady, no, I'm the same as you. I live there in Klipspruit on the hill there. I'm come from the same place as you. You know, I just lifted myself. Well, my father helped us get out, like you said, moved us out into the suburbs, and then of course started going to Model C schools and started going to like proper private schools. But the point I wanted to make, when those kids wanted to take pictures by my car, I said, gents, get into the car. And they were like, for real, uncle? Yeah, get in. They open the door, they're sitting, hey, they're happy there. The friend is taking a selfie there. Yeah, come. My uncle, can my friend also sit? Yeah, come sit. And they're sitting and taking pictures by our cars. And Don was also saying, no, jump in, take pictures. And the point we were trying to make is we wanted to show these lights. Like, gents, we're the same. It's not like this magic that's up there and nobody can touch it. It's like, no, here it is right here. You can get it.
Do you know what the problem is, though?
What?
Is that it's materials.
It's material.
For me, that's my only problem. Is that we have to have materials for people to believe that I'm a good man.
But that's how it is. Yeah.
And that shouldn't be the case. And that's why we're saying let's speak more to the lighties. Let's show them that we're the Khotmans because of our mindset.
But that could open the door for that conversation to happen. Obviously, so when those lighties come there, they're like, yo, uncle, what do you do?
But what happens when you lose it?
If you lose it, then you lose it.
Then you lose the respect also.
Then they lose the respect. So it can't be based on that.
It's dangerous. It's a good support, but it shouldn't be the lead.
100%. It shouldn't be the lead.
Yeah.
It should not be the lead. Now I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And then, Jay, what do you want to say?
Bro, it seems like God is huge on
Big
your
God.
journey and just, you know, who you are.
Yeah.
It's because of your faith.
Yeah.
How did that come about? You know, at one stage you said you were in church. You didn't know why you were there.
My late grandmother, Ukok Mapumulo, introduced me to church. Right? We used to go to church, but I didn't know why. When she passed away, I didn't have someone to hold on to. And somehow I chose God, but I didn't choose God. And one day it just hit me, bro. It's that I actually love Jesus. You know, I actually love being a child of God. I actually love the journey that I have because I believed in a higher power, but I didn't know what. So my family, being Zulus, is that there's a lot of traditional beliefs. And I've never practiced traditional beliefs since I was a lighty. And all of that was all based on how God was introduced to me. My grandmother offered God as love. It's just like, look, if you're looking for love, start here. And we used to pray together. So these things were, as a laity, important to me. And for me, I found that to continue my grandmother's legacy is to build a relationship, only to find that God is going to build a relationship with me. And now I'm no longer with God because of my grand, but I'm with God because I trust God.
You built your own relationship.
I have my own relationship with God. And I always speak about how important it is to believe in something. I never offer people Jesus. I never say, no, follow Jesus. I am the offering of Jesus, because the way I live my life should be an offering to someone to say, yo, man, I'm going through whatever I'm going through, but I believe that you need to teach me about God. That's when. Because when you rock up in your Ferrari, when you rock up in your helicopter, I'm going to ask you, how did you do it? In the same way people are asking you, man, how do you have such a good relationship with God? I'm like, I don't. I have a relationship. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't. Sometimes I'm mad at him. I'm like, God, why am I suffering? Why are people dying in the world? But that's a relationship. That's two people or two powers coming together. Because remember, you're a force, but under God's guidance.
100%.
Yeah.
That will never change. So that's how I make God, man. And I think after devoting my life to Jesus Christ, I ended up growing to someone that today has an online, I don't even know to call it a church or what. I don't know, bro. I literally have people every Sunday, like today it's a Monday, we have home cell. But we do home cell online with people across the different countries in the world. We have people from the US that just come on, dog, and we talk about God.
On IG?
No, on Zoom.
On Zoom.
Because also you want to create a space where people are
can
comfortable
engage,
and they can be able to come on. And all of this is because it's just what God has wanted. So I found purpose of melody in Christ. And that for me, it's allowed life to go. And I mean, it's hard. Especially because now I'm a TV personality also. Especially
I was just about to ask, bro, have you gotten to that point where you've, how can I say, you've hit a bit of a wall based on your faith and what you believe in?
I stopped emceeing parties because of that. Recently so. I stopped emceeing like clubs. I got an offer from a big club in Joburg to like, yo, come be a resident MC. But I knew it was going to affect my faith. Sometimes if you're strong, go do it. But for me, God will give me provision. God will make a plan.
So you knew that this thing's going to hinder my walk.
It will. Yeah. I was like, nah, bro, I'm not going there. It's already tough now because girls be like, hey, fire. You know, like girls will be like, yo, bro, you're my husband. I can tell you how many times, probably 3 or 4 times where girls actually were like, dude, I dreamt about you and you're my husband.
Yeah, I've read one of those.
God told me you're the one.
That's what she told me.
And you understand,
she might be watching.
and you understand the problem is that it's not wrong that they said that. But if I had not had my own spirit, I would have believed it as easily. Discernment is important. Spirit of discernment is
critical.
So that's why I'm saying, as I grew in my spiritual journey, I grew to love God for being God. People love God because He gives.
What He can give you.
No. I love God because He's God.
100%.
I love God because He's nourishing. I love God because He's just the person He is. And to someone else is like, bro, but you're poor. Why do you love this God? I'm like, it's my journey and season. Watch me blossom.
How God takes me from journey.
Watch me blossom. Because just like your David, just like your Samson, just like Job,
everyone in the Bible, bro.
Bro, did you ever get backlash for believing in Jesus?
I've never. They've never had the guts to try me.
You say if they try you, you'll go for it.
Bro, I'll stand my belief. Like, I mean, someone said to me, but Melody, not everyone has to believe in Jesus. I'm like, did you hear me say that? That's the problem. You assume all Christians are like that.
Yeah, gonna Bible bash.
Exactly. I'm like, hey, bro, I have a different journey in life. I know God has brought me for a particular time and season. Whenever I think about Jesus, He was in my age when He started His journey of being Jesus. And that's where I am. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to be Jesus, but I'm at a stage where purpose is so deep that it's no matter what I do, I can't run away from it. No matter what I do, I end up praying for someone. And I'm like, how am I praying for someone? Because I'm not an ordained pastor. Like, but then I learned again. praying for someone isn't you saying you have superpowers, but it's you trusting in your power, which is God.
100%. Sheesh. Bro, we need to do another session. We definitely need to do another session.
For sure.
You make hosting easy. Because you just jump straight into it and you go for it. You make my job easy today. Nah, you know why, bro? Because you know this job, man, and you do it for a living. So I could just sit here and listen. It's so simple.
That's what I've been doing, bro. I'm so encouraged.
And I appreciate it for having me, gents, because I think out of everything we can talk about, the journey, the challenges, one of the biggest things that I've learned is let your life be a light to someone else. Let your life just be light. Literally light. Imagine when you think about it, lighting is important. You know how people on Instagram, they put their lighting, what, they do all these things. Why? Because
the ring light.
The ring light, it makes them look better, you know? And that's what you should be in people's presence. People want to be better.
When you walk in, you must illuminate the room.
And also remember, it's not your responsibility if they see you as light or not. That's their choice. Your responsibility is turn on.
Bro, what did you do here before we close? What were you busy doing here?
So we were shooting a show. I had a TV show. So I've actually had 3 TV shows to date. I was shooting a show at the time. It's called Jimmy Comes to Joburg.
Comes to Joburg.
So it was a business show. So the whole idea is that you're called a Jimmy who's seeking a better path. And I was typically a Jimmy. And then they gave me this show on How TV. And then afterwards, I was just so happy. And I just started dancing.
When I type your name in YouTube, it says Melody dancing.
And yeah, Rock, you didn't even see the belt come out. If you go back, the belt came out of nowhere. If you take it back, you'll see the belt comes out and no one knew where it came from. Belt out. And the guy is like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And then
check that guy behind. Check that guy behind with the trolley.
Hey, that guy is like, what's going on here, guys? Literally one of the most happiest moments. This video trended over 2 continents.
Serious?
2 continents. In the US it trended also in Canada, and people just kept posting it. And funny story is that I got like 3 gigs out of this video where people said, listen, Melody, we want to offer you this. I think your energies is what we're looking for. And I got spun, bruh, for 2 years. South African national parks gave me span. Do you understand? Just for that moment.
For that energy. But bro, I think your vibe and your energy opens. How many doors would you, outside of God, we know God opens the doors. But that vibe and that energy, bro, how many times did that play a part in people just saying, yo, I love your vibe?
Every time, bro. It might sound arrogant, but it's basically, it is what it is. Pirates, for them to come to me and be like, Melody, we want you to be our MC at the stadium. For me, that's like, bro, where do I find that opportunity? Which door do you open for that? And that's when I realized it's what you do. Just do you, bro. People are watching and you never know what it's doing inside of them. People seeing you, being Jay, always dropping bars, you don't know what it does to other people.
Nah, 100%, bro. And sometimes the devil will make you feel like you're doing something wrong, bro.
Exactly.
Where was this, bro?
You see, this was in Cape Town. We're actually doing the finals, right? And everyone, I got booked to come and dance and MC. They flew me, put me into a fine hotel, and this is my co-partner, Kwekwe.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
My man, watch this man. And do you understand? I met him because of God's purpose.
What does he do?
So he doesn't do anything. The
He
brother
goes
wakes
to
up
the
and
MCA.
he doesn't MC, he doesn't do anything. What happened was me dancing and doing this. Watch. Watch. Everyone's going mad.
Yeah, I like that golf one.
Listen,
I like that golf swing, bro. That golf swing is funny.
And then you turn around, he was just a little, I would say people looked at him as a hobo. They looked at him as a little man who was a hobo. He doesn't have a job, he didn't go to school. And God granted me access through my gift to gift him. Because now was the first time on a flight, first time in a hotel, first time.
And God used you to...
People saw him as a human being now because I lived for my gift. And my gift granted him access. And hence I'm saying, bro, we can try. There's no way you can talk about these blessings and not talk about God.
No, you can't, bro.
Facts,
No,
bro.
you can't. But that's the thing.
Facts.
Let your light so shine. So that you help and like look in this situation here. Instead of trying to dim the guy's light. Or try to dim someone's light when they vibe.
He dances better than me, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I didn't feel intimidated. I felt that it's important to bring him up.
Yeah.
Bro, if I see Jay, you got something and I know I can plug you, I'll plug you with the pure
And
heart.
how would you feel if he passes you?
And I mean, I wouldn't feel anyway. I mean, because the thing is, remember, I've spoken about purpose a lot. And for that reason, I'm not living to try beat people. If my friend that I put on gets better than me, all I ask is that they must do it for the other.
Yeah.
They must
That's
put on
dope,
someone
bro.
else. Like, that's all I want. You can be better. Go, my bro. Go rock. Because at the end of the day, what's the purpose? What's the plan?
You see, that's the thing. But bro, I think we're gonna call it. Thank you so much for being a part of what we did here today, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Today was a vibe, bro.
We tried, bro. We tried.
That's a
Dope
nice vibe.
studios, like I said, dude. Like, this is like some high tech things. I know. Let me not throw shade.
Yeah, don't throw shade. Just
bro,
now they watch just now there's trends and then they're like, you see. Yeah.
Hey, bro, you got a lot to your life, bro, where we can legit have 1 hour
Yeah, we just touched on
segments
it.
of
each
everything.
section.
Parts, yeah.
We can speak about the Christian walk. We can speak about
The media
the
walk.
media walk.
Hey, we haven't
You
spoken
just-
about relationships. Yo,
the
guys.
relationship.
You see, if
We have to do a part 2 now.
you see, if we do a relationship chat, I don't know how. I'm a relationship expert. I don't know how.
Come on now.
But I can tell you now, bro. I just need someone to teach me what I'm teaching them so that I can get married already. Because the relationship journey, bro,
It's another journey.
Yo.
Now we can talk about that one. My wife and I do a lot of counseling, a lot of engagements as far as relationships are
Yeah.
concerned. We can have a chat about that one, and let's see where it goes.
Absolutely. Thank you guys
Nah,
for having me.
broski, do you have any closing remarks there before we call it a day?
So I always say it's important to let go of the past. It's important to encourage people today that a lot of people are not able to reach their goals because they're holding on to the mistakes they made. I mean, yesterday I felt terrible. Today I feel great. But because I felt terrible yesterday, I can't enjoy today's great. Just because of
Yeah.
everything you've been through, it shouldn't hold you from trying a new thing, being a new person. If you feel like you're not a great person, or you're not where you want to be, today's the day to try again. And that's why I'm trying to encourage people, try to always look up. Don't look down unless you're trying to pray. Always look up. Look up,
Sheesh.
chase the opportunity. And if anything, forgive yourself for the mistakes. And do better. Just do better, bro.
100%. Jay Paris from your side, G.
Nah, it's been lit, bro. It's it's been lit, and I pray nothing but success upon your life, bro.
Thank
Upon
you,
your
bro.
journey, strength to strength, victory to victory, glory to glory. I know God still, bro. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is
Thank
just
you,
the
bro.
beginning. You don't know that God has mega in store for you, bro. And I know it's just upwards from here. Big blessings, broski. It's been dope.
Thank you, my bro. I appreciate it.
Bro, thank you for coming. Jay, thanks for being a part of today's show.
Very inspiring, bro. On a
was a
Monday
dope
morning, bro.
It was a
Let's
really,
do
really-
this week,
It was a
bro.
dope show.
Let's
bro.
rock.
Let's rock.
Let's rock. Let's keep the energy going. Let's keep the excitement going. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. Also, please do subscribe. And yeah, man, share the link so more people can get inspired. It's a Monday motivation. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Love you. Bye-bye. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Jay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.